Hey everybody, welcome back to Fortunate Creations. I'm Kim and it's Monday, so you know what that means. It's a block party. All right, so normally I try to make up my own square or I make up my own pattern, but today I'm going into this book that I have. It's Crochet Granny Squares. Super simple. Get hooked on Granny Squares. It's a great book. I will put the link to where I bought it down below, and I am going to page 40, and I'm calling it what it is, the traditional Granny Square. Come on, I haven't made one yet, so let's do it together. All right, so the pattern is calling for 4 different colors, so I'm going to use 4 different colors. I'm doing blue, red, pink, purple. I'm using 100% cotton because that's what I want to use for an item I'm going to use in the kitchen or bathroom. I'm probably going to use this as a dishcloth or such. So I'm going to go ahead and use 100% cotton. It's peaches and cream, sugar and cream, depends on where you buy it. This is from Walmart. 100% cotton, worsted 4-ply. This is what I call kitchen cotton because I like to use it for all things kitchen related. Let's get that camera a little bit straight there. Okay. All right, so chain 6 and join the ends with a slip stitch. Oh, by the way, I'm using a 5.5mm hook as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and secure it with a slip stitch. Okay. So the first round is chain 3, and that counts as the first double crochet, and then work 2 double crochets into the center. 1, 2, 3. 1. Got the tail in the way, which might not be a bad idea. Go ahead and hide that while I'm going, right? All right, so there's 2. So it's a total of 3 double crochets. Now work 3 double crochets in the center of the ring and chain 3 2 times. Oh, first I have to chain 3. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 1, 2, 3. There we go. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. I like that it's in groups of 3s. And then I'm going to do it again. Chain or double crochet 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Chain 3. Now it says to do it It says to do it 2 times, but it's actually, I need 1 more time. So I'm going to go ahead, because you need 4, right? You need 4 corners. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now that looks right. Okay. Slip stitch into the top of the beginning chain once you get back around. Now that makes sense. There we go. Now I have the 4 sides. And here we go. My tail that's almost hidden. And it's a pretty little square. All right, so round 2, join the second color with a slip stitch. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off. We're going to move to purple now. It wants me to fasten it off, so I'm going to go ahead and, there you go, make that permanent. Okay. Now remember, this is a traditional granny square. There's lots of fancy squares and motifs and stuff out there, but this is just traditional. So I'm adding it to any corner space. Okay. Then I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Counts as the first double crochet. Then I'm going to work 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 3, slide it on over, slide it on over, and then go in, and I'm going to do 3 more. 2, 3, and that completes the first corner. Looking good. I will hide the tail later. Okay, now in the same corner, space and join. Yep. Okay. Chain 1, and then do 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in the next corner. 1, 2, pull out a little yarn, 3, chain 3, and then I've got to stop Siri from talking to me because I don't know why she's talking to me. All right. Sorry about that little interruption there. And then I'm going to go ahead and do 3 more double crochets. The funny thing is I've done so many different squares and so many different takes of the traditional granny square that I actually have to follow the pattern because it's been so long. I don't want to accidentally put in one of my hacks or one of my trade-offs that I'm used to doing. So, okay, so that's 3. We're going to chain 3. So each corner is 3 doubles, chain 3, 3 doubles. There we go. Okay, I'm going to chain 1 and work right into the other corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. Let's get that tail out of the way. There we go. And then this one is actually ending on the long side instead of in a corner. I like it. Let's see how it comes out. 2, pull out some more yarn. Okay, 3. Now we're going to just chain 1 and slip stitch into the first chain over here. And that will end row 2. Pretty cool. All right, now we're going to end that row and we're going to join the next color. So I can move the blue out of the way. I can move the purple out of the way. We're going to go in with the pink. So pull out some pink, which is going to fight me, so I'll go from the outside. That's fine. Okay. Hide that tail so we can see what it's looking like. All right, so round 4, join the 4th color. Nope, we're on round 3. Join the 3rd color with a slip stitch in one of the 3 corners. Well, I'm going to go ahead and join it at the same corner, which is right here. So I'm going to slip stitch into this corner. And I'm going to chain 3. And it's pretty much the same pattern as the last row. So I have the chain acts as the first double, then 2 doubles, then chain 3. Pull out some more yarn and do 3 more. Hindsight, I would do this with a smaller hook so it's tighter, but that's all right. We will square it off when we're done. And then, of course, I'm going to chain 1. And now we're in here. And we're going to work 3 double crochets in here. 1, 2, 3, chain 1, and we're back into a corner. So we're going to do 3 doubles. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Do 3 doubles. What I like with this pattern is it's not having you turn your work. I like the traditional squares where you're not chaining or not turning your work. 3 doubles in here. Also, if I were to do another one of these, I would do it with half doubles and the smaller hook. Just a preference of mine. But I guess if I'm using it as a dishwash cloth, I want it a little bit floppier, a little bit looser. Okay. Chain 3. Pull it over a little bit. Let's see how we're looking. Looking nice. Looking really nice. Okay. Go back into the corner with the last part of the corner, which is 3 doubles. Chain 1. Make sure I have enough yarn pulled out, and then go in with 3 more doubles. Chain 1, and we're going to head into the last corner. One, 2. Those of you that watch me all the time, you know I have to do that when I count to 2 at least once per tutorial. It cracks me up because I hear it in my head every time I count, so it's got to slip out at least one time, right? Okay, here's the 3rd double. Chain 1. We're going to put 3 doubles in here. That tail's in my way. That wagging tail is in my way. I'll just sew that in later. I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch right into the first chain of that corner where we started. And I'm going to go ahead and snip that off. And let's take a look, see how we're looking. I'll hide the tails to get a good look. Looks really nice. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do the last color, which is red. And now you're going to notice we're going to do the corners and then 3 double in each one of these sides. That's the fun of a granny square. It grows for you with every round, but it's the simplicity of a repeat pattern as you do go around. So it's a little bit of the best of both worlds. Tie that on there. And you can introduce your colors however you're used to doing it, so that you know, however you're comfortable with it. And then we're going to do 2 doubles. Not a big fan of a new color every round. You're going to rarely see me doing that. I did it on this because it's just the way the pattern did it, but I like to at least do a couple rows of a color, just because I am not a fan of tucking these tails and sewing the ends in. I don't, and plus introducing the new, it gets, anyway, blah, 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 first world problems. I normally use one color or one color for several different rows before I change it. Here's the 3 doubles in this one. I'm going to chain 1 in between it, pull out some more. Go ahead and do 3 doubles here. Chain 1, you're in your corner. They're pretty colors together though, aren't they? Now, since I'm going to use this in the kitchen, I'm probably going to go ahead and put a border of the red all the way around it to give it a little bit of little sturdiness, because I'm pretty rough on my kitchen towels. All right, chain 1. Chain 1, go to the next. I had every intention today of the block party being a left-handed block party, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't get a whole block done using my non-dominant hand. So I figured I would work that out on my own without dragging you guys along with me through that process. It is a process. If you are feeling adventurous, try to do even just a chain with your non-dominant hand. And you will realize how much of the crochet you take for granted that you just already know. All right. Oh, one more set of 3. Heading into our last corner. Chain 1, and then go right into your last corner. 1, 2, 3, chain 3. This is really pretty. There we go. And again, since I'm going to turn this into a kitchen cloth, I might do a few rows of the red. Or even break my norm and just start over and do a few more rows of the other colors, because I really like this pattern. I like how it's looking, and I like these colors together. And I would like a kitchen towel that's a little bit bigger than just a square. So I'm going to go ahead and finish. Now this is the end of the pattern. This is where it finishes telling me how to do it. So I guess I am going to make up a little bit for our block today. So I think here's the traditional granny square. Obviously my tails would be hidden and tucked in. I'm going to go ahead at this point and I'm going to slip stitch over to the corner. No, that's a single crochet. I'm going to slip stitch over to the corner. And I'm going to act like I'm starting a new, you know what? No. I'm going to end this here. Pull it through. Sorry, that was a decision I made on the fly right there with you guys watching me. I'm going to go ahead and start over with the first color I did, which is the blue. And I'm going to introduce it like it's a new color, and we're just going to keep going for a few more rows. Maybe now I'll do 2 blue and then 2 purple, 2 pink, 2 red. That would be cool. All right, so let's do that. We're going to reintroduce the blue. Let's go through the chain here. Reintroduce the blue, and then I'm going to do 2 rows of each. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here we go. I hope you don't mind when I make snap decisions like that, because then it actually does make it my square, my kitchen towel. So today's block party is going to be the outdoor kitchen. I only say outdoor because it's a block party and you're supposed to be outside with a picnic. So the outdoor kitchen granny square kitchen towel. That's a lot of words. Why don't I just call it the traditional granny kitchen towel? There we go. The towels like Grammy used to make. And as with every type of granny square that you do, each row you add another set or two of the ones on the side. And it just naturally does that for you. So if you have 3 on this one, you're going to have 4 on the next one, and so on. See, this one has 3. This one's going to have 4. It's just the way, the nature of the beast. Back into the corners. And this is how it also grows, you know. So in making a kitchen towel, I wanted it a little bit bigger than just my normal block party squares. Which, by the way, I cannot find my stash of them. I've been doing the block party now for a few months. So I have a bunch of these blocks all made up and put in a safe place. And I guess it's very safe because I can't find where I put them. In my defense, I did rearrange this room. And I did put stuff in temporary homes. So I'm hoping that once I start unpacking those totes where I just kind of put everything, that then I'll be able to find them. Because eventually I am going to make something out of the ones that are not made for kitchen use. Yeah, this is really pretty. I like these colors. Very vibrant. Now, since this is the cotton, you could use this as a hot plate. You could use it as a pot holder if you could make it a little bit smaller holes so you wouldn't get burned through it. But 1, 2, 3. Like I said, with kitchen cotton, it's very versatile, and you could make it any color you have. So you don't always have to buy new stuff. You can reach in like I did. I reached into my stash for this because I knew I wasn't using a full skein of anything just to make a block for the block party. I knew that it wouldn't take that much. So I'm going ahead and I'm going to add this to the Stash Buster as well. Stash Buster kitchen towel. How's that? I'm going to list this under both. It's my kitchen towel block party with a traditional granny, and it's also my Stash Buster because I did use leftover yarn for all of this. So although the other two still had their labels on, they were still partially used balls of yarn. So okay, this is really pretty. And I am going to go ahead and do 2 rows of each color, and then it'll be nice size. Perfect to use in the kitchen. These are the only types of towels I have in my camper. For the kitchen and the bathroom, I made myself sets of towels. And I really like the fact that I don't have to spend any money extra on kitchen appliances or kitchen gadgets or needs. Okay, so we're here back to the corner. I'm going to go ahead, now I'm going to slip stitch over to the corner. And I'm going to start the next row. With, I don't even have to chain. I can just go ahead and do, you know what? It looks a little weird, so I'm going to take this, chain off of that, and make that the first double crochet. There we go. This will be the second, so it looks like I'm starting a whole new corner. It's funny, you just got to remember when you're altering someone else's pattern or any pattern, remember that you still want it to look consistent in the corners. You don't want it to look like here was one project and then we added another. You want it to look like one cohesive plan. Like I meant to do that. I didn't change my mind halfway through. I meant to do this. And then your projects, like I said, look cohesive and just like you meant every stitch. Okay, and again, as you can see, each side wall now adds another one. Granny squares are so relaxing. They're such a muscle memory for me. That's why when I just want to make a blanket and I get the gotta finishes and I gotta finish a blanket, I will revert back to a granny square blanket because I just know that I can just keep going. I don't have to count. I don't have to, I just keep going with the beautiful pattern. Most of the time when I do grannies though, I'm doing half doubles instead of doubles. I like the tighter look of the smaller cluster when I do my blankets. This is so pretty. 2 rows of purple will be coming up next. What a fun block party. I love a good block party. Chain 1, right back in. Now when I'm done with this, I'm going to look for a button to match one of these colors so I can make the strap that goes over the arm of the stove or over the faucet or even clips onto the refrigerator handle. Because I also like the convenience of having my kitchen towels out. So if I wash dishes and I just need to turn around and dry my hands, I want it hanging right there where I can reach it. I don't have to dig in a drawer or unfold anything. It's just sitting right there, just ready to be used. And then, of course, just toss it in the washing machine if you need it. Sometimes with my scrubbies, I'll throw them right in the dishwasher. They wash up nicely in the dishwasher as well. I put them right in the top rack, and they wash up nice and clean. Heck, why not? They're in with the dishes anyway, right? We're halfway around, looking good. You may hear someone come in and interrupt while I do this. It is after work and everybody's starting to get home, so you may hear some interruptions, but I will try to power through it with minimal interference. Pretty much anybody coming home right now is self-sufficient enough to take care of themselves. They don't need me for anything, so. This is pretty enough that I might make another one and make a set. What nice color to add to the kitchen. I just can't believe it's 5 o'clock already. Where does the day go? It goes right here in my crochet hook is where it goes. I have quite literally been at this desk all day. I took 15 minutes to take my dog out. Let him play on the beach for a minute, but that was it. I came right back. I threw in a load of laundry, which is still sitting in the washer. So I'm going to go switch that over. I didn't even stop for lunch, I just realized. All right, last wall of it. This is going to be a nice towel. Nice size. I could even lay this on the counter to dry some dishes if I hand wash some dishes or rinse off a coffee cup or something. This would be nice. All right. Now I'm looking at the size of it. Would it be too big if I did 2, 2, 2 all the way out? Should I end it here, put the handle on, and call it a day? I think I will. Because you don't want it to be too big, right? I think this is a good idea. I'm going to go ahead, end it on this row, as far as the square part is. Now, we have to take it and make it go in a little bit, right? So how are we going to do that? I'm going to use the purple color for the first row. Oh, this is going to be fun. We're creating this together, right off the cuff, as my dad used to say. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie this off. All right, so my camera just stopped on me, which is good because now I want to take a look at how this looks, how big it's going to get, and I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do a row of the purple on the outside, a single crochet, and then I'm going to build it up for the handles, or the not the handles, the triangle part that I can put the handle in. Sorry about that. So I'm going to actually do half doubles because they're my favorite stitch, as we all know. And I'm just going to go ahead and go right across the whole top. I'm going to put a half double in every stitch, and then I'm going to do one stitch in every chain space. Make sure that comes out good. I want to make sure the spacing looks right. I don't want it to get warped and weird looking, you know. Nobody wants a warped and weird looking kitchen towel. So here we go. One half double in every stitch all the way around. And that is to get the granny square pattern relaxed a little bit and start getting just the lines across so I can go ahead and taper the top. That was the word I was looking for. Taper the top. And here we go. One in there. I always have a hard time when it's the last double crochet into a chain space. I can never tell which is the double crochet and which is the chain space stitch. It has me in stitches. Kidding. Kidding. I just. All right. I'll put that one there. And then this one here. This one here. And then I'm going to go ahead and put 2 in the end. Chain 1 and 2. And that way and that way I still have a corner, but it's not as big, and we're starting to bring it down again. Now you can also see that the pacing is nice as far as the stitches that I'm using, because like I said, you don't want it to get too many stitches or too few stitches. So we're just going to continue all the way around here. Boy, I do love these colors together. Come on, there we go. This cotton isn't the friendliest to work with, but I do like using it for the kitchen. I really do. And even the bathroom. Right. Still going around 1 half double in each stitch and 1 half double in each chain space. And I think it looks really pretty. I like that. And get all the way around here, and then I'm going to decide this is going to be the top, and I'm going to start to taper it off. Again, in the corners, I'm just doing 2, chain 2 and 2. Still keeping a corner feel without making it quite so big as the chain 3s. And again, if you're making this for yourself, you're just practicing stitches, all of these projects I consider practice. The fact that I do use them is just a bonus point, but I'm not going to beat myself up for a space that's too big or a stitch that's too loose. I'm practicing these with you, and that's kind of what I use them for. So when I do stuff like this, it is stitch practice, or maybe even a little bit of crochet therapy. Sometimes I just need to sit down with a hook and make something. I don't really care what. I don't have a plan. I just start hooking, and before I know it, hours have gone by. Whatever's bothering me is no longer bothering me, and crochet therapy. Crochet-apy. Nope, crochet therapy works. All the way across. These two colors especially together. I don't know if the colors are coming out as brilliant for you as they are for me, but this is a teal and a deep, like an eggplant. Really pretty. They work nicely together. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this all the way around, and I'll meet you back up when I get to the original up here where I'm going to start the tape. All right, so here we are all the way back around to where I started. I finished the corner, and now I'm going to chain one. Now I'm pausing here because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go back and forth with rows of half doubles. So we're going to do a row of half doubles all the way across. Then I'm going to chain one, switch colors, and come back with 2 rows across the top of the pink. So go ahead, if you're following along, go ahead and do a row of half doubles all the way across to the corner, and I'll meet you there. All right, so I've decided that I really like the way this looks with the purple around the outside. So I'm not going to change colors again. I'm going to finish this all off with purple and start the taper up here. So we're going to chain one like I did. Sorry about that. I got to the end of the row, just finished with a regular half double, chain one, turn my work. Okay, as you can see by my tail right there. So then I'm going to skip the first stitch right there, and I'm going to do a half double in the second stitch, pulling it over just slightly, and I'm going to do a half double all the way around until, or all the way across, I mean, until I get 2 stitches left. Once I get 2 stitches left over here, I'll show you what I'm going to do. I will be right back. So I have 2 stitches left on this row. I'm going to skip this stitch, and I'm going to do my half double in there, chain one, turn my work. Now you can see that we're starting to curve in a little bit. And that's what you want to happen on the kitchen towels, where you start tapering them off. And that's going to be the pattern for each row that I do now. So each time I come around, I'm going to skip the first stitch, and I'm going to skip the last. And you will notice that quite quickly your towel starts to taper in nicely, and it'll give you a nice little border up top, and then it'll give you the strap that you need to feed it through a handle on a dishwasher or handle on the stove or the refrigerator, wherever you hang up your kitchen towels. So go ahead and do a few more rows of this where you skip the first and the last stitches on each row. I'll meet you back here in a few rows. Okay, so I kept reducing by 1 stitch all the way till I had 4 stitches left. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to continue with a strip about 7 rows long, 6 or 7 rows long of back and forth 4 stitches so that I can flap it over. Okay, so we're not skipping any this time. We're just making a flap. 2, pull out the yarn a little bit. 3, 4, chain one, turn your work. And this is what we're going to do, back and forth, 4 stitches. I say 6 or 7 rows, but it's really up to you how long you want this to be. So just keep going back and forth. Make sure you have 4 because you don't want this one to taper off, okay? You want to keep 4 stitches all the way across. Keep chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to have a nice tail, I'll call it, flap. All right, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try 6 rows and then I'll check back with you after. Okay, so I've done 6 rows of the 4 half doubles. I'm going to chain 2, turn my work. Then I'm going to go right back into that same stitch and I'm going to do a double crochet. I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to go into the last stitch and I'm going to do 2 double crochets. And this is going to create a buttonhole. Okay. Now, sometimes I make my buttons out of crochet and sometimes I'll sew them on. Boy, this is tight. So I'm fighting this one. Hold on one second. Let's get through here. Come on. It's split. There we go. Okay. And there's the final. And you can see that it has that right there. So I'm going to go ahead and secure this by cutting that off. And here we go. So now we have our pretty kitchen towel. Decide which way you want it to button. This is the front, so I'm going to go ahead and have it button here. And I'm going to, obviously, I'm going to hide that tail. Now, I need to find a cool button. Get rid of all those tails. I need to find a cool button that's going to match these colors. So let me go find that. I'll be right back. Here I have my container of buttons, and you can see I have colors that almost match each one of the colors I have in here. I'm not going to do purple because the purple is obviously the securing the flap. So I think I'm going to go ahead, see if this will fit over, and it will nicely. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the pink right there. Get rid of those other 2 buttons. And we just need to secure this button on here. So I'm going to use the pink yarn. Let's just set that down. Set down the buttons and grab some yarn so that I can sew this on nicely. Here we go. Let's get rid of the little knot that's here. And I figure this much should be plenty to sew that on. Now the trick with sewing on a button using yarn is you have to get a needle that will A, fit through the buttonhole, which this does nicely, and B, will fit your yarn. Okay, so right here is where I want it. Go ahead and center it. So you got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, put it right there in the middle. And we're just going to sew this on. However you're used to sewing on buttons, again, using yarn, it's a bit of a trick. So you want to make sure, leave enough on the back so you can go ahead and tie it and then hide it. And I always like to go with an X. So I do X this way and then X this way, making sure nothing gets caught in the back, which it is. Look at that. Come on out. There we go. Okay, cross this way. And just keep going as many times as you feel comfortable until you think that button is on secure. Remember, if you're going to be taking it on and off the kitchen cabinet or on and off the sink or on and off anywhere you're hanging it, you want to make sure this is sewn on here pretty well. It's going to get some wear and tear. So don't rush through this step. And again, this is a preference, however you usually sew your buttons on. If you go crisscross, if you go around the outside, however you like it. Maybe this time I will go here. I'll go this way because I want to make sure this is nice and secure. Do a crisscross on the back and then make it go right through and square it off. So it almost looks like my triple crochets are in, or my double crochets are actually right in here in the middle of the button. That's kind of neat. And let it be known that this is sewn on quite well. Don't hide your yarn. You want it to be a stitch, just like any other stitch. Okay. So I think that's on there pretty well. See how that looks? Do a pattern if you want, do however you want, but I'm happy with that right now. And then I'm going to turn it over, trim it off, and I'm going to tie the knot. Nice and tight because it's a button, and I have been known to lose buttons at the worst times. All right, now we're going to take the needle and we're going to hide the tail right inside. The good thing about this is you can hide it right in where you sewn it, and it's usually pretty good at hiding it. Pull that through there. I like to double up when I'm pulling them through. Make sure it's going right where I want it to. And then we can trim it off, and we are going to see how it looks hanging up. All right, trim this off. I have one more tail over here to weave in. And I like to, since this looks a little thin, I'm going to go ahead and weave this in and out of this actual chain and then hide it in my stitches. You can hear the geese are coming back. It's that time of year. I don't know if you can hear them out my window. There we go. Let's pull that like that. And maybe go right back through here one more time. You can never hide your tails too good because you know eventually they're going to try to poke back out again, right? So I just keep going until I'm pretty sure they're tied really well. All right. Snip that. Oh, look at you thinking you can hide on me. I think not. Looping that through, hiding it in here. I happen to grab a blunt. See the blunt tip on that? I don't love those, but it works for right now. Okay. May I present the block party kitchen towel. I love it. Love it, love it, guys. Okay. All right. All right. So a little bit of a block party, a little bit of a kitchen towel party. I love it. I really do love these colors. This is really pretty. This is actually going right in my kitchen right now. And there you have it. Today's block party started out as the traditional granny square, and then we actually elaborated together and created it into a kitchen towel. So that goes along with my saying of always, be happy, be kind, and be creative. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.